if A-Train can stay in the booth a little longer instead of running through innocent bystanders, all the better. So, hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Superhero Club. I'm your host, Stephanie Williams, and Superhero Club is your one-stop shop for everything comic book inspired on Amazon Prime Video.
You are a hero.
Today, KB is joining me yet again because we're talking about The Boys, and she's one of my favorite people to kind of talk about when it comes to this world of exploding heads, milkshakes, pink guns, which we're gonna get into because that's a thing. But KB, how are you doing?
Hey, I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me back on this brand new episode.
We've got yet another video from Vought News, and we also have a video from Mr. A-Train himself. In fact, before we even get into it, let's take a quick look at his music video, Faster.
Ready, set, go. Here comes the A-Train, Mr. Fleet Feet, saving lives, no surprise like it's easy. There ain't no day like a race day. A-Train on the track like a raceway. Yeah, I'm the best at ever doing, y'all crazy. Make way or you're pushing up daisies. Bring the heat, have you begging for some AC. Only place ever losing your daydreams.
A-Train's Faster video is everything that I thought it would be, and I mean that in the worst way possible. All shade to him because it's A-Train. And I don't know if you remember from, I believe it was season 1, where he goes to visit the child who has to make a wish, who wants to see translucent, and A-Train is there instead. I don't know if it's necessarily giving me those vibes, but that's the thing that I immediately thought of because this video is supposed to be inspirational, and A-Train is somebody who I feel like his inspiration is as deep as the dollar menu because, he's there to collect his check. Also, he is probably there to try to get his way back into the 7.
Taking back what's mine like the Alamo. They be trying to play me like a saxophone. Who ain't dope? I crack the code. Slaying lanes and ripping roads. Y'all won't never touch me like an asymptote.
What did you think of the music video?
Child, it is giving I work hard for the money. It is giving fake it till you make it. It is really, truly giving lose it or prove it in order to maintain some small status in the 7. A-Train is good for not really knowing what to do with himself. When the chips are down, he just, beats himself up. It's really hard. They're just so used to being in these positions of power that they'll do anything, literally anything, including this ridiculous video to get back to the top. That's exactly how I feel about it.
This whole music industry sidearm of Vought is just really fascinating to me. They are everywhere.
It's giving me, we're gonna get an album. That's what it's giving me. I feel like the soundtrack for season 3 will be available. We're trying new things here at Vought, and y'all are gonna get into it.
Let's get into this news clip from Mr. Cameron Coleman.
September may bring crisp fall weather, but we're bringing you a breath of fresh air with real news reporting. Hi everyone, I'm Cameron Coleman, and welcome to 7 on 7, bringing you VNN's top 7 news stories from around the globe.
I know I shouldn't like him, but I just do because he is a company man and he is trying to make sure that he gets that Christmas bonus. Speaking of transactions, there seems to be an alliance that has recently formed between Vought and the Federal Bureau of Superhuman Affairs.
In our lead story, the Federal Bureau of Superhuman Affairs seems to have strong-armed Vought International into a new partnership that FBSA claims will root out the bad apples amidst their superhuman community.
They formed an alliance, and Cameron doesn't seem to be too happy about that.
Unbelievable.
I'm thinking of Victoria Newman, the congresswoman who is the head of that whole thing.
For too long, members of the superhuman community have played by their own rules. Through a joint effort with Vought International, we'll work together to see that heroes who engage in over-aggressive, rogue conduct and unlawful activities are held accountable to the very same laws that they claim to uphold.
It feels like a power move possibly on her part. It's much easier to keep your enemies closer. She talks about being able to hold superheroes accountable. And I guess, girl, good luck to you. I just don't know, because I can't imagine Vought International agreeing to this. At most, maybe they'll throw them some lower level superheroes to kind of hold accountable or something to that extent. But
let me tell you, Victoria is a top tier schemer, mostly because she knows that she's the soup. She knows what she's done to get to this position of power. She has taken a ton of innocent lives. And yet she's going to form this alliance, I feel like, to really cement her place in power and in history. So, I'm trying to figure out what this alliance will look like going forward long term. But we know that Victoria is all about stepping on people's necks and dead bodies even to get to the top. Oh, huh?
No, go ahead and say that because it's true.
Yes. She's clearly okay with doing whatever it takes to get her agenda approved. I think that Victoria's kind of the villain, but who's her best adversary and why? That's what I'm looking forward to see.
I know we're going to find out pretty quickly. I wonder what Hughie's role might be in this, if he has any role at all. So
now, upon, because Victoria's playing chess and not checkers.
Speaking of chess, and this is a very terrible segue because it has absolutely nothing to do with anything, because this news clip is as far out of left field as I could have imagined. But then again, it's the world of the boys, so maybe I shouldn't have been surprised.
In true celebration of America's freedoms, Vought's recent Gal Gear Tactical Firearms for Women launch continues to be a hot seller. Ladies across the country, as well as some men, are snatching up the popular pink pistols faster than a speeding bullet, with product sales seeing a nearly 200% increase since their debut, proving that just because you need to stay safe doesn't mean you can't do it in style.
Actually, you know what? No, I'm not surprised that they make guns. I think it's just the name itself. And I think my only comment is Gal Gear Tactical Firearms for Women. And of course it would be pink because if you are trying to defend yourself in a world with Homelander, like you need something that's going to bring attention. So you might as well look good as you take out your little pea shooter right before he lasers you right on down. But you know what? I bring that up because I feel like them showing us this at some point, that pink gun is going to show up in season 3 in the hands of either Mother's Milk or Hughie. I will take bets now because I just know it looks crazy. I'm pretty sure it's probably very small. One of those guns that if you shoot it, it says bang, like the words literally come out.
I mean, right, like no one is surprised that they're selling weapons or tactical gear. Like that makes total sense. For me though, if you're gonna give me a bright color, then you might as well give me an assortment. I mean, for one, we all know that none of this is gonna work on Homelander, like not for real. But I could do a lime green. I could do a yellow. I mean, if we're going to go all the way out there and have these tactical, let's make a full line, a full range. And if they are not going to be covert, which, in my personal opinion, they should be, child, give me an assortment of colors then.
The reason why we bring up Homelander probably needing defense against him because have you watched The Boys? How stressful it is to live in a world where the boys exist. Speaking of Homelander, he's finally back. He's shown his face. Vought, if they don't do anything else, they're going to have their superheroes out doing a circuit. But the thing that he's done in question, he showed up to do a meet and greet at a fast food restaurant. Let's take a look at this clip.
Following the long absence from the public eye, Homelander was the guest of honor this week at the grand opening of Whataburger in Logan, Utah. The leader of the Seven seemed back to his old charismatic self as he smiled for pictures and spent time with fans, all while enjoying his signature Big Homie burger with a side of crispy Freedom Tots and a vanilla American milkshake. Great to see Homelander back and surrounded by his fans. Truly an inspiration for all of us.
All right, so they had him as the guest of honor for Vought a Burger. Everything, Vought this, Vought that, you'll never forget. And they had him do it out in the boonies. Because can you imagine trying to mourn the death of your girlfriend, this child that you found out that you've had, all of this, and they drag you out of the comfort of your robe and do this guest of honor situation for a vanilla milkshake and some tater tots.
Listen, we'll see how long this campaign trail lasts for Homelander. I'm pretty sure he probably stormed off set, cursed somebody out, maybe even murdered someone on set. And we know that Vought definitely swept that footage under the rug.
I just don't know if I would ever eat there because is it meat or are they experimenting? What is in the meat?
Not even what's in the meat. what's in the vanilla milkshake? Because it's easy to pour some compound V in the milkshake, honey.
Well, you know they like to do their testing, honey. So for those who are eating Vought burger in that world, my best wishes to your whole digestive system and actually just your DNA, because who knows what's happening.
Yeah, I was about to say RIP to your DNA, honey.
And Homelander is not the only one who is on the Vought Across America tour. It's not called that. That's just what I'm calling it. They also pulled out Starlight and Queen Maeve because Vought has an amusement park, of all things.
Starlight and Queen Maeve came together for a very special team-up of unity and diversity this week as they broke ground on Voughtland's newest park, Brave Maeve's Inclusive Kingdom, replacing the park's long-standing Queen Maeve's Battle World. The Seven's diva duo stood tall and proud amidst a record-breaking crowd of LGBTQ supporters, spreading a double rainbow of tolerance across the entire park.
Again, none of this should be surprising, but it is damn scary because the first thing I think of is that Simpsons episode where they go to Itchy and Scratchy World, and by the very end, the robots are attacking them. And I just imagine that at a Vought amusement park, one or two things are happening. A ride is probably poorly put together. You're waiting on one of those superheroes to come save you. It doesn't happen. Or the superheroes themselves, they're the reason why you're screaming, not the rides. I will say that it's very nice to see Starlight and Maeve working together, especially after the way season 2 ended. I like them becoming allies, and I hope that that continues in season 3.
You know, quite frankly, I think that Maeve might quit the Seven this season and kind of start to do her own thing because she really wants to start doing good, and she has a lot of guilt from the things that she's done, mostly at the hand of Homelander, but still things that she's done for Vought. I think they need to take a turn to the good side fully, you know, not just this kind of 30% of my big toe is doing good, and then the rest of my body is out here, you know, doing Vought business. I hope they continue down a path of true friendship. Maybe they'll change their whole lives. Who knows?
And you know what? They may have a new coworker soon. We get introduced to a character named Moonshadow.
Vought Sports recently announced that Moonshadow, the West Coast Census scrambling bombshell, will be gracing the cover of their annual Super Swimsuit Spectacular issue next year. The San Diego-based superheroine continues to take charge with a body-positive persona that's seeing her popularity continue to go up as her city's crime rate keeps going down. Seems like this is one rising hero that Vought executives and the rest of the world won't be able to take their eyes off of. I know I'll be getting my copy.
She's based out of San Diego. She's a body positivity persona, which in the real world would be really great to hear, but in the world of the boys and just Vought International, I don't know, like it's just extremely nefarious. We had the other girl come in and join. We saw how that went. That is a name that, you know, I'll leave her unnamed, but we saw how she was.
I mean, first, I just feel like you can't trust anyone who joins the Seven, period. That's the reality. But in other news, let me find out that Vought has a modeling arm. Maybe A-Train should be less concerned about his music and should try to get on the modeling end where he does not have to run through to sit people. He doesn't have to try to sing. He doesn't have to fake it in these videos. He doesn't even actually have to say a word.
But now I'm trying to imagine A-Train on like a whole body positivity thing, and I can tell you right now that would go horribly left. I just can't.
You already see how they're trying to rehab the Deep. And, you know, the Deep could have actually potentially in the beginning been a good body positivity, you know, model.
Absolutely.
But look, here we are.
And here we are at our last clip from Mr. Cameron Coleman. So let's take a quick look at that before we get into it.
Okay, this is ridiculous. In today's final story, despite consistent and repeated allegations from the mainstream media, Vought continues to deny any affiliation with the Sage Grove Center, the psychiatric facility accused of testing compound V on its patients. Sources say Vought is apparently so appalled by the unethical treatment of patients at this facility that they are planning to purchase the building, which experienced extensive fire damage, and convert it into a new Global Wellness Center.
So this very last news clip from Mr. Cameron Coleman, the reason why I have the giggles right now is because I'm 12. And then also it is a Sage Grove, either center or hospital. But from season 2, I don't know if you all remember, and I hope that you do, because how could you forget this? But it's the same facility where they found that they were testing compound V on the patients there. And one of those patients had, how can I put this? An appendage.
A love sausage?
Yes. Nether regions that had like Laffy Taffy capabilities, they stretch it. They stretch it on out, and that's what he was able to do. But anyway, the reason why they brought it up is because the place is being remodeled after it was damn near burned to the ground, and it's going to be turned into another thing that Vought is probably more than likely going to do some more testing of Compound V because they can't be trusted.
Cameron is trying to sell it like Vought is an upstanding pillar of the community. And you know what? We love to see it because we know that it's a lie. Listen, You cannot trust Stan Edgar. You cannot trust Vought. You cannot trust this multifaceted, multimedia conglomerate that literally has its hands in everything from food to amusement to drinks to hospital centers to, literally everything you can think of. And so that's why I am exceptionally curious to see how everything plays out between Vought, the Church of the Collective, Victoria, everyone here together, because at the end of the day, the boys is really about the struggle for power. Mm-hmm. And who's going to end up on top?
Yeah, and unfortunately, those not in power kind of feels like a dim you do, dim you don't situation. Kind of like in real life. So anyway, thank you all for joining us yet again for another episode of Superhero Club. We'll be back because Vought International is committed to giving us these videos on the 7th. It's Cameron on 7 o'clock or 7 a.m., however they're doing their time over there, but 777. So until next time, if you haven't already, please don't forget you can stream seasons 1 and 2 of The Boys now on Amazon Prime Video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tune in next time for another edition of Superhero Club. Bye.
Thanks, guys.